Coach Rachel here. As BFO would say, we're going to be doing some goalball, y'all. So I'm going to be talking about two important skills within the sport. I'm going to talk about communication and how and why it's important. And I'm also going to be talking about passing, a couple of different ways to pass the ball to your teammates, and give you a couple of drill ideas. So I first want to talk about communication and why it's so important within the sport of goalball. So we know that all players are blindfolded on the court. So it's super important to be able to have effective communication skills with your teammate to be able to make the best play. So that might be tapping on the ground. It might be doing some sort of mouth gesture, like a ticking sound, like, or making some kind of little whistle sound, like, or even just verbally saying each other's names or communicating different numbers, because you always want to know where your teammates are on the court, how you're moving around the team playing area. Also, players will constantly be talking about, especially at a more elite level, the defense on the opposite end positioning, where they think they are, how and where they think they're going to be throwing, so that they're able to position themselves and slide more effectively on the court to be able to make a play. So communication within goalball is extremely important, especially with your teammates, and the more you play with them, the more you're able to develop that communication skills, and you're going to be able to have that effective, more smooth gameplay. And it's also all about our court awareness and game awareness. So the more we practice, the more we play, we just naturally get better.
We are now going to talk about passing. The first pass that I'm going to demonstrate is from our knees. When making a pass to a teammate, you want to make sure that you're making it accurate. And to be able to do this, you want to face your opponent by asking them where they are, either by saying their name and them responding with a knock on the ground, saying here, making a mouth gesture such as a ticking noise, or something that lets you know exactly where they are. When making the pass, you want to have one hand on each side of the ball. You want to lightly toss the ball up in the air, extending your arms out straight in front of you, letting go lightly so it's a nice bounce pass and is able to roll to your teammate. When receiving a pass from your teammate on your knees, you want to make sure you are first facing them. Also, you want to have your arms spread apart on the ground, nice and open, so that you are able to trap the ball and it come into your chest area and retrieve it safely. Making a pass standing up can sometimes be more difficult. You again want to make sure it's accurate, so you need to turn and face your teammate. From there, you want to say their name so you know where you are passing to. They may respond by knocking on the ground, saying here, making some sort of mouth gesture such as or a whistle. When making the pass, similar to your knees, you again want to make it a light bounce pass. So you want to extend your arms, having one hand on each side of the ball, lightly tossing it up in the air so it does a nice smooth bounce and roll to your teammate and they are able to safely retrieve it. When retrieving a pass standing up, it is similar to your knees. You want to make sure you are facing where the ball is coming from, and you want to move to the ball so you are able to retrieve it safely. The next type of pass is a handoff along the goal line. This is used when players are more comfortable with their court orientation skills, have good awareness with their teammates, and are able to move more smoothly around the court so the defense doesn't know where the throw is coming from. The player in possession of the ball will back up to the goal post, move along it, and tap the top of the goal ball so that their teammate is able to come and retrieve the handoff and players can then reorient themselves to where they want on the court. Now, there are a couple of ways you can practice these skills. One is if you have a partner, you will be doing what we demonstrated earlier, passing and retrieving from our knees, standing up, and if you have the space, making a handoff to your teammate. So, when passing from your knees or standing up, you want to be about 10 feet apart if possible. The player making the pass will ask where their teammate is by saying their name. The person retrieving the pass will then signal to them with either a knock on the ground, a type of mouth gesture, or simply saying here. Then the player will use the techniques toss to make a nice toss in the air lightly enough so it does a nice smooth bounce and is able to roll to your teammate. You will want to switch off so you can practice passing and retrieving and going back and forth to each other. This also allows you to work on your communication skills. Another way you can practice passing is if you have space on a blank wall, you can start on your knees and progress to standing up and pass against the wall. So using the techniques tossed of having one hand on each side of the goal ball, extending our arms straight out in front of us, and lightly letting go so we are tossing the ball up in the air and it bounces against the wall and back to us. This allows us to also practice our retrieval skills. You can do this 10 to 20 times and progress to each level and then do it again.